Hey everyone, welcome to Throwback Thursday. Today I have the LEGO Creator Mini Construction Set. It's a 3-in-1 set that has these three models, and it comes in a canister instead of a cardboard box like most LEGO sets these days. And this set came out all the way back in 2007. So I got this set used. I don't know if there's any instructions, but if there are, I'm not going to be using them anyway. Let's just see. Oh, it actually opens like this. I guess just because we didn't tear it off from this side. So we get these pieces here. I hope they're all here. And there's these instructions, which I will not be looking at, but here's the part list, at least in part. Yeah, those are the parts if you want to make these builds yourself. And there's this brochure. We can look at these after I'm done with the builds. It appears that I was missing one of these pieces that did not come in the bag. So yeah, this is what happens when you get used sets sometimes. You're missing a piece. This one I'm actually adding it from my own collection, and I'll just put it here to complete the build. So watch out if you get used sets from Bricklink or other sources to make sure that they include all the pieces. So the first build is this excavator kind of vehicle. It's about the size of a polybag these days. I built it without these extra parts. It might not be extra, but I just got the gist of it based on what I can see on the box. And I can only see this from one angle, so the things that are not filled here, they're probably filled in the version from the instructions, but I know in reality sometimes these machines have a little bit of hollowness to contain the motors, just let the air circle through. And so just to compare with some random minifigure, here's the size of this thing. So it's pretty small, not really minifigure scale or minifigure compatible, unless you make them sit on top of it, like the very, very old LEGO sets from the 1970s before minifigures were placed inside vehicles or were put on top. So I guess this kind of works. This thing, in theory, goes up and down. In practice, like all the way it's currently built, it's pretty fragile, so probably it needs some more reinforcements. But even barring that, even assuming like this is held together well, this is not held well. As you see here, like this piece is just connected by these two studs, so if you're playing with this, you have to hold it from here and move the whole thing. That too can get knocked off pretty easily. So in terms of play value, I think that we're limited with these joints here. Even if you reinforce it yourself, you're always gonna have to have this not get knocked off. Overall, it's a good build, reasonable size, has not that many interesting building techniques compared to larger models, but back in 2007, there was a lot of these studs, not a lot less of these studs not on top techniques to have these things from the side, or these things from the side, or this from the side as well. So I guess it would provide some useful building experience to younger builders, which is the only target audience of this set according to the box. So yeah, that's my look at this first build. One final look at it from all angles. Alright, moving on to the next build. Alright, so we're done with the second build, which has these pieces put here loosely on top, just in the case of the picture right here, but they're very easy to knock off. So that's another thing that's pretty flimsy. There might be some piece here that would otherwise make this less flimsy, otherwise the rest of the model is solidly built. I built this as best as I can, just looking only at the box, only this angle. It's a nice little construction vehicle. I don't think that there's any way to make this move up and down, or make this go in and out, or anything like that. Again, it's not minifigure scale or minifigure compatible, but here's a minifigure just to get the idea for its size. So it is basically polybag size, and I guess if you really want to, you can attach a minifigure here at the front, but it's not really designed for minifigures. Those are larger sets. So final look at this from all angles. Not too much to say about it. There's a little bit of studs not on top here at the front, but otherwise it's super basic, and well here as well, studs on the side. So yeah, not much else to say about this one. Let's move on to the third and final build. Alright, we're also done with this last build. There's a tractor trailer. This one is pretty nice. It was pretty fun to put together. I only have access to see it from this angle here, so I might have gotten some of the details wrong, but the general idea is this. You have a cab forward vehicle here, same driver's seat. This part is very similar across all the builds. Exhaust, some semblance of a motor here, and yeah, we have this turntable put to good use. Let's see, you can make it turn around. It's a very tight turning radius, not very realistic, but it's possible. So that's nice. We do get this little bit of cargo here in the trailer, and there's some wheels as well. So nice small toy with limited parts. Yeah, here's how I built it. The way the instructions describe it might be a bit different. And also, I don't know, is it going to be exactly like this on this side? Maybe there's like some other piece that goes here, I'm not sure. But this is the gist of it. And yeah, again, from all angles, here's what it looks like. Here's the cab alone. And the trailer by itself. So yeah, those are the 3 builds for the LEGO 4915 set. I found it to be a great throwback. You can still get this set from secondary sources like Bricklink for a price that's not super expensive. It doesn't have any desirable minifigures or anything like that. Oh, and just to compare this with the size of a minifigure real quick before we leave, here it is. So again, not minifigure scale, but you can always add minifigures, especially on this 3rd model. You could just make minifigures sit at the rear, like those really old buses that are pulled by trailers. So yeah, it's a nice small set. It has 3 exciting builds, and I'm sure with these pieces you could make so many more things of your own. There's also these pieces that are extra for this build as well. So yeah, I think this is a great set. If you get multiple, you could build all of them at the same time. Yeah, and finally, after talking about the set itself, let's have a quick look at the instructions from back in the day. Are they any different? Well, the art here is a little bit more colorful. All the instructions now are just white on the front. So it tells you here's the build, and apparently you do get a building phase here, which is interesting to see, and it gets right into it. And here, this takes you to the last instruction for the last build. Interestingly enough, I already looked at the parts list. So all 3 builds are right here. And just for reference, the last build is only in 8 steps. If it was done today with 68 pieces, it would be like 30 steps or something. So it's really interesting to see them build this whole thing with only 8 steps. And for the main build, let me just see. And the main build is done in only 14 steps, which is a lot less than what LEGO would do these days. And this is in 2007. It's not like in the 1970s or something. So as late as 2007, the instructions that LEGO provided were a lot simpler or more complex, depending on your point of view. Simpler as in there's less steps, but more complex because there's more stuff to do in each step. Finally, there's this brochure that came with the set. So it's about the LEGO magazine, which I believe is still ongoing, although the format might be slightly different. Check online for the latest details. I don't know if this phone number still works, but this is clearly intended for the US and Canada. Let's see. Can we open this? Apparently the previous owner might have never opened this. Actually, I'm not sure, because there's a little bit of adhesive here for this brochure. So each LEGO magazine features these items in English and French. I think there might have been English and French versions of the magazines. There's a return thing, so like you could return this back if you're in Canada. And back then, you can get 1 free 2-year LEGO Club memberships, and additional kids may sign up for $795 each, US. And this is the US version of that. Let's see, anything interesting on this side? Not really. So yeah, it's just an invitation to subscribe to the LEGO magazine. Nowadays you can get all that online. They did have the internet back in 2007, but it was not as fast as it is today, and people were much more attached to tangible things back then. And it's only in recent years that this has made a resurgence. Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Versatile Fun Designs. Be sure to like and subscribe because really exciting videos are coming on the way really soon, and you really don't want to miss them if you're interested at all in LEGO. So thank you once again, and I'll see you all very soon.